Sometimes, love doesn't come dressed in diamonds or luxury cars, it comes with muddy boots, a kind smile, and a heart that shows up when everyone else walks away. That's how the story begins, with a woman who had everything the world could offer, except someone who saw her beyond her last name. And one cold, rainy night, that truth would change everything. Samantha Bennett was the daughter of a billionaire real estate mogul, the kind of woman people whispered about at events but never really knew. Her beauty was flawless, her posture perfect, her reputation carefully polished. Yet, inside, she was tired of being seen as a prize, a ticket to wealth, or an accessory in men's ambitions. Her father had arranged countless blind dates for her, each one more disappointing than the last. But this one, he promised, would be different. It wasn't. The man waiting at the candlelit restaurant table looked at her like she was an investment portfolio. His laugh was forced, his compliments rehearsed, his phone never out of reach. Samantha smiled politely, trying to keep up appearances. Then he said something that cut deep. "You know, you're lucky. Most men wouldn't date someone like you unless your last name came with it." Her breath caught. For a moment, the noise of the restaurant faded. The sting of humiliation burned in her chest as the people at nearby tables turned their heads slightly, sensing drama. Samantha swallowed the lump in her throat, grabbed her purse, and stood up, leaving without a word. Outside, the city was slick with rain, and the chill bit through her thin silk dress. She tried to call her driver, but the signal was weak. As she waited under the awning, the tears she'd been holding back finally broke free, hot and silent, rolling down her cold cheeks. That's when she heard a voice. "You okay, miss?" She turned. A man stood there in a worn jacket, holding a takeout bag and a little boy by the hand. His face was kind, weathered but warm. His name was Daniel Cole. A mechanic from a nearby small town, he'd brought his son, Max, to the city for the day as a treat. The restaurant's fancy glow caught Samantha off guard against his modest, real-world simplicity. "I'm fine," she lied. Daniel raised an eyebrow. "You don't look fine. You look like someone who just realized she deserves better." Something about his words broke her. She let out a shaky laugh, part disbelief, part relief. When her driver still didn't answer, Daniel offered, "Look, my truck's right over there. I can give you a ride, if you're okay with that. Max and I aren't dangerous, I promise. We just had way too much pizza." Samantha hesitated, but Max, clutching a half-eaten cookie, smiled and said, "You can sit in the front. Dad always says kindness is free." That small, innocent gesture did what no one else had done for her in years. It made her feel safe. The ride was quiet, except for the hum of rain and Max's soft chatter in the back seat. Daniel didn't pry. He didn't ask who she was or what she did. When she thanked him for the ride, he simply said, "Just be careful who you let make you cry. Not everyone deserves your tears." That night, Samantha couldn't sleep. His words kept replaying in her mind. For the first time, she felt seen, not for her beauty or her wealth, but for her pain. Days passed. She found herself driving back to that small-town garage Daniel had mentioned. She told herself it was to thank him properly, but deep down, she knew it was more. She wanted to see that simplicity again, that peace she'd felt sitting in his truck. When she arrived, Daniel was under a car, grease on his hands, humming softly. Max was nearby, drawing on cardboard boxes. He looked up, surprised but pleased. "You again?" Daniel grinned. Didn't expect the city girl to step into the land of oil stains. Samantha laughed, awkwardly holding a cup tray with 2 coffees. "Consider it a thank you." From that moment, their worlds began to quietly collide. Samantha started visiting often, learning how to change a tire, sharing stories over coffee, sometimes just watching Daniel and Max laugh together. It was a life far from the polished marble halls she'd grown up in, but it felt real. Daniel, in turn, tried to ignore the growing pull he felt toward her. He'd been burned before. His ex had left when life got hard, leaving him to raise Max alone. He couldn't risk letting another person walk out on his son. But Samantha wasn't like anyone he'd met. She didn't flinch at the dirt under his nails or the small-town simplicity of his world. One evening, after helping him close the shop, Samantha sat on the hood of his truck, the sunset painting the sky in gold. "Daniel," she said softly, "do you ever feel like you were born into the wrong story?" He wiped his hands on a rag, leaning beside her. "Every day. But sometimes, you just need the right person to help you write a new one. Their eyes met, and something wordless passed between them. Then, just as things began to bloom, reality came crashing and Samantha's father found out. He stormed into the garage one afternoon, his suit and anger equally sharp. "Is this where my daughter's been wasting her time?" he spat. "With a mechanic and his child?" Daniel froze. Samantha's face turned pale. The humiliation, the judgment, it was happening again, only worse. Her father tried to pull her away, saying she was throwing her life away, but this time, Samantha didn't run. She took Daniel's hand, holding it tight. "No, father. For once in my life, I'm not being used. I'm being loved." Her father stared at her, stunned. For the first time, Samantha spoke not as the heiress he controlled, but as the woman she'd finally become. It took months for the storm to settle. Her father withdrew his support, angry and disappointed. Samantha lost the privileges she once took for granted, but she didn't care. Because, in losing everything, she found what she'd been missing all along, a home made of laughter, warmth, and honesty. Daniel built a new shop, this time with Samantha's help, and Max proudly told everyone his new mom made the best pancakes. One night, as rain poured softly outside, Samantha stood by the window, watching Daniel fix something by the fireplace. She smiled, remembering that rainy night when her life had fallen apart only to fall together again in the hands of a man who never once tried to change her, because sometimes, love isn't about what you have, it's about who shows up when the lights go out. And for Samantha Bennett, the richest thing she ever owned was the heart of a small-town man who saw her as enough.